to record this thing just in case. And let's look at Merrill's agenda. Number one on the item is we're just basically Merrill says, "Hey, it's summer. Should we, just shut down the August meeting?" I said, "No, I'll show up and we'll just have people ask questions." So that's what we're doing today. It's just going to be an open discussion, very informal. I'm going to give you an update on our Chilean telescope, which has been an exciting project. And if those of you who are interested in processing astrophotography, we have a lot of data for you to play around with. And think about topics you want, and especially the people who are newer, think about topics you want to people to use their expertise and talk about. Exposure of DSLR cameras for Milky Ways, anything that you think would be interesting for a talk, just let us know, because we're here for you, as Merrill likes to say. And let's see. Before we start asking questions, let's do the Chilean telescope update. Is everybody familiar with this project?
No.
But the new folks aren't.
Okay. Hey, John, are you familiar with this at all? John Holderman?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Okay, good. So there's some data on our MassFits drive you'd be interested in. But basically, this is our telescope here in Chile. And if you go to memphisastro.org and scroll down the bottom, you could get a link to our YouTube channel. And I highly recommend Brent Ellis was our leader on this project, and he went through how we're, especially people who want to get into astrophotography, using Nina technology, which is Windows based. He goes through and shows you how to do it all with this video here. But it's kind of
show we captured time wise.
You see how it's a pretty cool rig they have there.
Here, I got a little arrow pointing.
You're not sharing your screen if you're looking for people to look at it.
Oh, I was just showing. Is this not showing?
Nope, just you.
Oh, really? Shoot.
No, I'm not seeing any video or anything.
Oh, sorry about that. My bad.
Yeah, we know it's your first day.
Yeah, I do about 50 of these a day, these meetings. All right, you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, I just thought Brent Ellis did a great job, and I highly recommend everybody to go down to memphisastro.org, scroll to the bottom, and hit our YouTube channel and look at this video. He goes through Nina and how we're using Nina to control this telescope in Chile. But it's
cameras on site, so
and as you can see, it's a really cool rig.
You can see it going back on the next morning.
And we're controlling this telescope here.
Just see it.
So those of you who are interested, I highly recommend that YouTube. And all of this data is available for all of us to process. All you have to do is join the Slack channel, and we'll give you links. So just make a request, and we'll have the links available for you to grab this data. But here's some work that Brent and I believe Brian did. These are targets we just will not see in our northern skies. Quite beautiful, quite spectacular. Rick, I think that's your favorite globular, isn't it? Then we
It is. Steve, since we've got a few new people on here, when you say we've got all this data for you to process, what does that mean?
Well, it's not for the faint of heart. It's quite a few gigabytes. You would download what are called FITS files, and that's where we get our name MassFits, mass.fits. And those are raw black and white files that we process using programs like Photoshop or PixInsight and deep sky tracker. There's just a lot of packages you can use. So this is like maybe 90 photos, and you use the software to stack it. And in this case, Brent clearly did a mosaic because this is so wide. And then you just process it. You just bring out all this color and all this beauty.
See, back when I got started, you wanted a picture, you took one picture on film, and you'd leave the camera exposed for hours, and the work was in making sure the telescope stayed right, tracking correctly with the movement. And the beauty now is you're capturing these images electronically, and the most any of these frames are, they're basically taking individual 10-minute individual pictures, maybe even shorter, maybe some longer. But once you don't, so tracking error can be eliminated. You don't have to keep it on track for all that time. You got software that'll control the mount to keep it tracked correctly. And then you stack these images. So you basically take all these pictures and lay them one over the top of each other, and it adds up the data to give you all this detail. The more frames you have, the better the detail is going to be.
Yes.
I may be telling you all stuff you all knew, but since we didn't people knew on here, I thought I'd.
No, that's great, Rick. Thank you. A few housekeeping items before we get into our discussion today. One is we're going to be featured again at Theater Memphis. They do, whenever they have any plays related to, the dark sky or astronomy, they use our photos on display. And I'm going to put an announcement in the Slack channel pretty soon that if anybody wants to, in our group, wants to give us their process photos, we're going to give those photos to their judges, and they're going to print out maybe 15 of these things, and they end up selling them to raise money for their cause. And then we have an event coming up for Off the Walls Arts. Same situation. They're going to want our photography on an event coming this December. I really don't have a lot of details on that. They asked for a photo to test with, and I gave them. This is a group shot. We all, about 15 or 20 of us, astrophotographers, we combine all of our data to present this particular shot here, and they're going to print that out and get back with us on when we're going to give them the other data. So that is that. And
Hey, Steve,
yes.
do you know what production Theater Memphis is doing that's related to astronomy and they want our photos?
Yeah, actually, it was such a big hit. They're doing. Do you remember the name of that play last year?
Oh, Silent Sky or whatever?
They're doing that again.
Oh, it was wonderful. You should
was
go
a
see
great
it if
play.
you haven't.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It was a super job. Ian, let's see. I'm just kind of clicking off the things we've talked about. And I really think that's all the housekeeping we need to do. So let's talk about, I'm going to stop share for now. And does anybody have any questions about anything?
Yeah, I got one. So, I've been doing trying to color balance my images, and I noticed on a couple of these editing programs that I use, they have this channels linked button, and I looked up what it meant and what it's supposed to be doing, because it makes my images look better. And I just clicked channels linked. Do any of you know what channels linked does? What is it doing?
What software are you talking about?
It could be serial.
Leave the channel link. You're
Or
basically linking your red, green, and blue channels, and then it's normalizing the histogram stretch across all channels rather than, I guess, individually doing it. I don't know the exact rationale behind it all, but it has
yeah.
something to do with syncing the channels together or having them not synced when that
It's
when that
yes, it's
MTX
balancing the color. It's when you do a stretch, it's moving it all.
It's just a color balancing button basically.
Right. If you're linking your red, green, and blue, they all move together, and then so the colors don't go wacky on you. But there's some downs. There's times where you're going to have to unlink those because when you're shooting with virtually every camera I know that is a one-shot color camera, the Bayer matrix pattern is red, green, green, blue, and you're going to have too much green, and you're going to have to do something about that. And sometimes when I stretch and and I look at the data, everything looks really green. So then I unlink.
Yeah. I think I lost connection for a second. But it basically should just say, like color balance, basically. It's like white balance or whatever. That's basically what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, does anybody out there have like Cindy? Have you ever shot the night sky?
They're not very good at this point at all. So
Okay, like do you have like a DSLR camera or what are you doing?
we have two DSL cameras, and I have a Insta360 Go 3S, which I put up and just played around with it for a time lapse.
Oh, cool. How did that work?
The first night did okay. The second night did horribly. So I need darker skies. And,
Right, so
our neighbors are.
you need to come out to Astroflats. You'll see a lot better results with because light pollution in Memphis, as you know, is pretty bad.
Well, we're in Fayette.
Oh, okay.
We're north of Oakland, but our neighbors like floodlights a lot.
Okay,
So
that's not
and
that's good.
cars, whole bunch of cars.
So you set your camera up where you can block it.
Tried to.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, if you're you should come out to Astroflats with those DSLRs. It's a good thing to start with, and just take 10-second exposure of the Milky Way, which is high in the sky in the summer right now. And
that's what I was trying for.
Yeah, so that'd be a good thing to do. The beauty of Astroflats is to our members, it's open every day of the week.
So we just have to email either you or Merrill. Or...
You need to get on the Slack channel and do it there.
Okay, I am on the Slack channel.
Yeah, just say, hey, Merrill, I'm heading out to Astroflats, and the first time you go there, you're gonna have to be trained in terms of how to lock it up because we keep the site very secure.
Okay.
And once you've been trained, you can just make your request. You're going out there, you're going to be given the combination lock. You'll be able to unlock it and just set that camera up on a tripod and take some shots.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. We might try it tomorrow night.
Excellent. If you're there, stay late and see if you can see some meteors.
That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Adam and I were out there last weekend, and Adam, I would say we were seeing a meteor flash across the sky every 4 minutes. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and they're really nice too. Like some of them really long, or they'd leave like a faint trail. And I bet those, faint trails you wouldn't even be able to see if you were in like a Bortle 6 or 7. You wouldn't even be able to see that.
That's right.
So.
All right. Well, Ethan, what camera do you like to shoot with? I like your telescope back there.
Yeah, I actually stepped outside because I was getting mine all set up.
Yeah, tonight's the night.
I've upgraded just about everything except for my camera. So I'm still running a DSLR. It's an old Canon T4i that I modified myself and removed the LPF2 lens from it so that it's more sensitive to the HA signal.
Nice.
Got an AM5, a ZWO AM5 or AM3 mount. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a Stellar View 80 millimeter triplet,
Right.
and I've got their guide scope. I'm running a mini PC and a Pegasus power box, and I
Nice.
run Nina to control all my sessions.
Oh, then Brent is an expert in Nina. You need to watch that video I referenced earlier because I think you'll get some good insights.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It's quite.
And then I've got a automated flat panel as well on the end.
Let me see that better. Brent, put your camera on that thing. That's awesome.
It's a Wanderer Astro.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty sick little get up.
So you push a button and it closes down.
Push a button, I can open it, close it. It's also got heat on it, so dew doesn't form on it. And then it's got the light panel, so I can control the lights. And then I use the flat wizard within Nina to run all my flats at the end of the night.
Nice.
And in fact, sometimes since I still run a DSLR, if I can't, I work nights for FedEx, and so a lot of times I set up my gear and then head into work, and I control it remotely. And so I'll actually just close the flat panel and take darks like that sometimes if I can't put my cap on it.
Yeah, well, if we control telescopes in Chile, I bet you can control that from.
Yep. That was kind of my goal. Because of my work schedule, I actually live about 2 hours south from here. However, with my schedule and other things going on, I'm spending more time up here. And so I'm actually set up here in South Haven right now. And that's where I've been imaging from lately, which sucks because back home I'm in a Bortle 4, and here it's 7, 8 or so.
Yeah. Okay. Over at Astroflats, it's like the Bortle 3.5. It's pretty good sky safe.
Nice.
But you were referencing, and for those of us who are new, flats, and what a flat is a calibration frame that we take. He puts that light on there, and he just takes pictures of the light, and you take, if there's any like dust bunnies or anything, any dirt on your lens, or if your camera is not as expensive as others and there's some vignetting on the edges, that flat will actually correct and make your image look a lot better. And you do the same thing with darks. Darks are calibrating noise from the camera.
Which my camera has got a lot of noise, and in fact the sensor's going bad on it, so I've got a lot of spots I've got a lot of amplo, much like a 294 does, but it's my DSLR that does it, and
Right.
if I don't get my calibration frames correct, it just doesn't work out.
Is it like an APS-C?
It is an APS-C.
Yeah, okay, so that's a good sized chip, and it's bigger than many of the expensive deep sky cameras, the cooling cameras that you can buy at Zoe.
That's been my big hold off, is I want to move to an APS-C mono, but it's quite a jump in price and cost, and filters and everything else. So
you're in the thousands if you want to do that. Okay, so
I'm waiting on that. That's the next move eventually.
But my point to you is DSLRs are excellent cameras for doing what you're doing.
Well, that's been my hold off, is I haven't felt like I was missing out enough to where the camera felt like it was something I needed to upgrade yet.
Right.
Now it would make calibration all that easier, having the cooling and being able to build a dark library. I've tried building a dark library for this. It worked out up until I think when it got to the winter time, the temps weren't really matching even with what the camera and what my Pegasus was recording temperatures for. The darks weren't lining up, so I started having to take darks every night.
Yeah, that's one of the bad sides of the DSLR.
Yeah,
that's a common problem that people.
And then before I got the automated flat panel, I usually just used my phone. Before I had this 80 millimeter, I had a 60 millimeter doublet that I first started off with. But I use my phone, and then I have an Amazon Fire tablet, and I just download a white screen app and use that.
Yeah,
and that's always worked real easy.
Yeah, and what do you process with? What software?
I process all my stuff using Serial.
Yeah, okay, good. That's what a lot
Pix
of
and Sight was the other thing. I'm holding off on Pix and Sight until I have an Astro camera.
Okay.
Like maybe I wouldn't gain enough, and so far I've gotten pretty used with Serial. I'm pretty happy with it, and then with my job, I'm actually got a license for Photoshop, so I do all my post processing in Photoshop.
Right, and Photoshop's very powerful.
Touch-ups.
But Photoshop doesn't stack, so you would.
No, you
what
can't
do
do
you
any stacking.
what do you stack with?
A serial.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brian, that's his, one of our members, FedEx pilot named Brian. He helped us with the Chile project.
Okay.
That's what he uses. So, well, and we're a community, and what just something I want to call to your attention is if somebody wants to learn how to use on one-on-one sessions, Meryl and I frequently, we set a time with just an individual person, and we go through these very complex processes to start with, and we step you through it. So that's just something we do if anybody's ever interested. Now, John, is your sound on? John Jernigan.
Yeah, my sound's fine.
Okay, good. So you're doing some photography using that C-Star, aren't you?
No, I don't have a C-Star.
Oh, who has the John Jernigan? John Jernigan. I thought you had a C-Star.
I don't. John, the other John does.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think he's quiet. All right. And okay.
Yeah, he's still muted there. So.
Now, Anne is a professor of physics at Rhodes College. Anne, are you around right now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you tell us about your observatory a little bit at Rhodes College?
Sure. So we are right in Midtown Memphis, where there's tons of light pollution, and yet we have a 20-inch plane wave reflecting scope that's all controlled. It's a very nice facility. We do have some narrowband filters, so that helps with the light pollution. And I've really enjoyed this group. I've been learning a lot about image processing, although I swear I spend a lot of time with PixInsight and I still feel like such a beginner. I'm so frustrated sometimes. But we do try to have some open houses, and we'll try again this year, weather permitting, and hopefully some of you can come out and see the facility.
It is a spectacular facility. It's a huge dome and a very comfortable setting where it's easy to go in from the air conditioning. and I don't think you air condition the dome, but the structures next to it.
Well, the dome there are air conditioning vents during the day, but when you're open, you're going to be at ambient temperature outside. But the cool thing is that I can run it remotely from home or my office a few floors below, or wherever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
In fact, I'm thinking I might log in after this meeting tonight, if it's clear, and try to get some of those pre-nova, the blaze star. I want to get some before shots before the star goes nova, so then I can get some after shots.
Ah, okay. Adam and I were talking about that at Astroflats. I didn't know how to find it in my computer system to shoot it.
Well, I know what it's close to. It's like Epsilon Corona Borealis, but I'm gonna have to Google up the specific coordinates.
Right. It's like it's near one of those stars. It's to the left a bit. I pointed my telescope out there.
Do you have Starry Night?
What's that, Rick?
Do you have Starry Night?
I use Stellina. Or I'm sorry, I use Stellarium. That's my go-to.
So I thought Steve had Starry Nights too. Starry Nights, you just look up Blaze Star.
Oh, okay.
I use a Sky Safari app on my iPhone.
Sky Safari. That's what I meant. Starry
Blaze Star, it pulls up on that, but you can also search T Crones.
I searched that, Rick, in the DSIR thing, and it's not in there. But I can link that. I can link that to Sky Safari, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay, I'll go out there and do. We noticed that it didn't blow yet. That's why it was dark over there.
Hey, Anne, as an FYI, you can use Stellarium to find all you type in Blaze Star and it shows up.
I just did that as we were talking, and I see it. So
okay.
I may do that tonight. Get some before shots. It'd be kind of fun.
Okay. Do you use Nina there, Anne?
I would love to use Nina, except that we have an S-Big camera, and that is not compatible with Nina.
Okay, wow.
So I have to use the S-Big software, which is Maxim DL, which is very expensive, and it's a stupid subscription model, but that's what we're forced to use. It works. It's not amateur friendly.
Right. Yeah. Merrill is saying the same thing.
So the people that are, taking their pre-nova shots, are y'all just doing like 3-minute exposures, or are y'all taking like an hour of exposures and stacking them together?
I think I would recommend short, 30 seconds, and a lot of them. We're talking about stars. You don't want to blow them out.
Yeah, I haven't tried yet, but when I log in, I'll try different exposures until I get something that's maybe not overexposed, but not super underexposed either, something maybe 2/3 maximum exposure.
Right. Now, Ann will have quite a bit of focal length compared to most of us, so she's got to watch out more than we do because.
What is focal length on that thing,
Ann? I used to know off the top of my head.
The F ratio?
I'm having trouble remembering numbers and dates lately, so I'd have to look it up. I'll get back to you.
No, that's no worries.
I bet it's around 2,500. Wouldn't you think, Rick?
I don't know. If it's a F5, what would that be?
I was going to say, is it reduced or is it at native?
I don't think you reduced
30 seconds and I'll look it up. It's a 3.5 meter focal length, but the F ratio, I guess, take that and divide by 20 or half a meter.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Okay.
Wow. That's nice. So, well, where most of us are dealing with undersampled stars, Ann has to deal with oversampled stars at times, I'm sure. All right. Hey, Steve Armour, what are you shooting with these days? Are you there? A lot of people are silent, so I'm putting one on the spot.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What are you shooting with these days?
Oh, the ZWO 533 on an 80 millimeter ED.
Oh, okay. That 533 is the square format, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot of people are buying that. It's a great camera.
It's done good for me. I've even shot the pre-shots of the intended supernova coming up, and what I've used on ASI Air is the coordinates, and I'll put the coordinates in, and it will take me dead on.
Ah, why didn't I think of that?
Very easy to do, and just write them down before you go out that night. Make sure you got them there.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Tomorrow night I'm probably going to Hinton. Are you going to Hinton tomorrow? That's your neighborhood.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay, so I won't be able to shoot tomorrow night, but maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. So about how many people go out to Hinton?
Who else is going to Hinton? Because I'm going to be there too with my new Sea Star. I'm excited.
Oh, good. Freddie, I hope you're going. Freddie the Oz, are you there? Freddie, are you going to Hinton? Freddie usually goes. I hope he does, because there's a lot of people coming there with scopes they never used before, and Freddie's very smart with these scopes.
Yeah, he may be on call that night. I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, I'll be out there.
My wife's feeling good. I'll be there with Stelina.
Oh, good. So there'll be some observing as well. Last time I was there, there wasn't a lot of observing. There's just a lot of mentoring. Because I don't bring a telescope. I just show up.
All right. Is it a lot of like people that are non-members there? Like, is it like an outreach event or
it
just
is. This one's welcome. Anybody can come, and we don't care if you're a member or not. We're going to help you. And last time I was there, it was a good number, about 50 people, 40, 50 people. At least 30 of them brought a telescope that they just didn't know how to use.
Yeah, I might go. You said 10 p.m. It's probably going to be over at 10 p.m. But I still
Yeah.
want to go out to Astro Flats, but I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah, do both.
Yeah.
I may do both.
Because I think right before 10 p.m. is when the moon sets. So, I get moonless sky still, so I should be good.
Yeah. That's excellent. And Bryce, are you muted?
Hey guys, can y'all
There you
see
are.
me?
So Bryce was out at Astro Flats last weekend. Now he's a visual guy. So
Yeah, well, I just have one telescope. I just bought my first one a couple weeks ago. So, met Steve out there, helped me out a lot, learned very quickly about dew. So,
Rick, it was so bad there, with all the corn and all the moisture that Bryce was taken out before sunset. It was just
so I got the that Telrad that you recommended. I've got a couple dew heaters, so I'm a little more prepared for next time.
All right.
I was hoping to be able to come out to the event tomorrow, but I got called out for work, or I will be out of town for work. So, unfortunately, but I'll try to make it at one point.
We check our calendar out. We have a lot of upcoming events, and we desperately need volunteers with telescopes to show up to like star parties. We have a star party in what is that, Village Creek State Park in Arkansas.
That's coming up the end of September, like the 28th, I think.
Yeah. Are you going to give the talk that night, Anders?
Yes.
Okay,
I have agreed to do that one.
So Anna does a spectacular job. She's going to talk about the night sky and some interesting facts about some stars and some objects there, Village Creek, and sometimes I've been there when there have been over 250 people there, so that's a big event.
I think we've been clouded out from that one for an entire year now.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
It's been but Bryce, you're talking. You may get it. You may bring your camera out next time.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I got it out.
Okay.
And you're saying, asking if I had a bulb mode, and I was able to find it has a bulb mode. I think now at this point I just need a tripod, and then, probably go out there and make some terrible photos, but start somewhere.
That's right.
But it definitely sounds very fun to get into.
Right.
I feel
Freddie's
like
got a really nice equatorial mount for sale.
Who does?
Freddie.
Freddie?
He's going to sell his Orion Atlas.
Well, Bryce might be strong enough to pick that thing up. I'm certainly not.
That's why I sold mine.
Mm-hmm. Now, John, I was trying to talk to you earlier. Are you going tomorrow night to Hinton?
No, I'm in Denver. I can't be out there. I'll be back in town next week, but no, I've been out of pocket for a while.
Okay. Right.
Rick, Rick, I got a question for you. I'm already on Slack as far as astrophotography. Do I need to still fill out that form to get access to the Chile fit files?
No, you'll get with one of the guys on that Slack channel, and where are those stored, Steve? Those are on the file server, right?
Right. We got
at
Keith Hoare's attic. We got file server. And if enough people request it, I'm just going to drop it at memphisastro.org because you have to have some command line expertise to use that particular drive.
Yeah, my password's probably expired, but I know how to get to it. I'll give it a shot, see if I can. If not, I'll give somebody a shot. I'll give.
Hey John, send me an email with your email.
Yep.
Okay, and I'll reset your password.
All right, sounds good. I'll do that, Freddie.
Yeah, do mine too, because
Yours too? Okay.
Yeah, last time I tried the FTP, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, it's SFTP.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay.
Okay. I will reset those 2 passwords. Yes.
Hey, Freddie, are you going to Hinton tomorrow night?
I am on call, and this week has been terrible. So I'm afraid that if I go there, I will jinx it.
Okay.
Well, let me clear that up for you, Freddie. The air conditioning is out at my house, so please, everyone, take advantage of this opportunity to go buy your new telescope.
Okay, I will.
The more clouds we have, the better it
for
is
you.
for me.
Sorry about that. Yes, I read your comment this morning. Well, it was not that bad today because it was kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, John, what do you think of your Sea Star?
A Sea Star, oh, I love it.
So, can you? There's a lot of people who might be interested in this. Ann just got one.
Yeah.
Cindy and Bryce and a few others might be interested in it because it is what we call a robotic or a smart telescope, where you just don't have to do a lot of tinkering.
Yeah, I went by a telescope store here, Mile High Telescope, like whatever. But anyway, I asked them if they were carrying them, asking how many they've sold recently. They said 100 of those things. So they're flying off the shelves, and I hear more and more people buying them. And they are, for the price, really, you can't beat them. The other, the one that Celestron is coming out with, they're really praising it, but you're talking about about $4,000 to buy one of those.
Their Origin, I think, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Right.
And the guy at the store was really going on about that one. But if you just want to go out, one that you can throw in the car, that you can, I don't know about, carrying on a plane unless you do it as carry on. But if you're going camping, if you're going with a family somewhere, it's totally self-contained. Just pick it up, make sure it's charged up, throw it in the car, take it with you. Take your iPhone. It does some great stuff. I mean, I've not been disappointed by it, other than occasionally have some Wi-Fi problems. But other than that, it's been great. I love it.
Did you bring it to Denver?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That was a plane flight, and that was sudden. But use it for scouting. If you want to do something you want to do some real work with some of your other better equipment, you can get out there and scout out some DSOs, and it's great for that too. Or if you want to just do the moon, you want to do solar, it's great for solar work. Just about anything except planets. That's the only thing it won't do.
That's right.
And but I'm not disappointed. It's been worth the money. And you get a lot of bang for your buck. As a matter of fact, some places have knocked it down about $50. So, and other people are coming out with similar stuff. So, I mean, as far as for amateur photography, man, it's a time to get into it.
That's right. Now the chip size is not very big, so it's not spectacular for an astrophotography tool, but it is an excellent beginner's astrophotography tool.
Yeah.
Frankly, the chip in your it competes against that Celestron Origin. I mean, their chip is only a little bit better. They got a little bit better telescope, but it's really it's something worth considering, because you literally set it on a table, you level it, you have your phone or whatever, and you tell it to go look at this object. It's that simple. There's not a lot of technical issues, I assume, correct?
No, the only add-ons that they have for them that I've bought have been the leveler and the taller tripod.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've found necessary. I haven't heard of any changes they've made to it, but it's like I said, it's a great little thing to mess with, and it's very, very simple. It's pretty intuitive as far as usefulness. Everybody that I've heard of that's gotten one just loves them.
Right. And have you gotten yours out yet?
Yeah, I've had it out a couple times here in Shelby Forest, but I'm looking forward to Hinton where I have more sky to look at. So I don't really know all the features of it, but I'm hoping tomorrow night I can learn some.
Okay. Have you looked at the sun with it yet?
Yeah, I did that. It was amazing. You just hit find sun and it automatically finds the sun. It was amazing.
That's amazing to me too. All right. That's so for beginners. That's a good. That's a great first scope. I think it's just. But when I began, I got this Celestron C8 with the mount. You had to do these 3-star alignments, and you have to crouch down and break your back. Well, it's kind of nice just to level something and push a button. All right, Mikhail, how are things going with your rig? Michael, he might be still pause. Okay. Well, I mean, I see a few people out there. Does anybody want to tell me any questions or tell me about your setup?
Hey, I actually did have a question.
Okay.
The camera out in Chile, that sounds pretty fun just to kind of maybe play with like editing photos and stuff. So I don't know like what programs would I need to download to even get started with that.
Well, I think Ethan would tell you to use Cyril. Wouldn't you, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend Cyril because it's free.
I don't even know how to spell that.
SIRIL.
Okay.
Did you get that? SIRIL.
SIRIL.
It's an excellent free package.
It's a free package, but it's quite powerful and it's well supported. It's open source. You can donate if you want to it, I guess. But it's great and it's got all the features for stacking. One-shot color if you're using a DSLR. If you want to do narrowband, it can do all that. It's got the ability to do pixel math and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's not quite and it's a lot more user-friendly than trying to learn PixInsight. So for new people, I would definitely recommend it starting off.
And so is that kind of the main two is
so
PixInsight?
Basically, when you get the data, I guess I'm assuming the data from the Chile site it's already calibrated, or do you have to download all the calibration files?
We have the calibration files available for you to use.
Okay.
We're not going to calibrate because we want people to learn. So we're just not going to calibrate for anybody. Just here's the darks, here's the flats. Enjoy. Now, if anybody has any trouble, like you say you download it, Bryce, and you just, oh God, this is complicated. Well, Ethan and I might get together. I haven't used it either. We just get together on a Zoom call and just kind of.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to, if we wanted to get some people together and do a little course.
Right.
And go through it all.
Plus, Cyril has a new ZWO C-Star script. So I guess it'll run your C-Star in.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Well, that would require me learning something new like Cyril.
That's right.
I am mired in PixInsight. I can't even get caught up on that.
I understand.
If I don't know if any of y'all follow a lot of people on YouTube, but one in particular, Nico Carver, goes by Nebula Photos. He's got extensive videos on using Cyril, and that's who I would recommend to go check out his videos on Cyril, and you'll basically learn everything you need to know, and you can follow along, stacking along with him.
Yeah.
Hey Ethan, you mentioned earlier pixel math on Cyril, and just a couple of days ago, I started dipping my toes into Cyril, and it's got a lot of cool tools, and I noticed one of them was pixel math. Do you want to explain what that is?
So basically, you're using mathematical equations to combine channels and to complete an image. So you're taking, I guess, monochrome, single layer channels, images, and then you can use pixel math to combine them and split them. So if you're doing, let's say you captured a narrowband and you did an sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen, you can use certain equations to combine those to create like a Hubble palette, or if you want, different, if you want the red channel to be with certain information and the green with certain information, you can do all that with pixel math, basically.
So it's really only relevant when you're, like you said, narrowband or any kind of like mono RGB. But with if you're doing one-shot color, it's not relevant.
I personally don't use it a lot with one-shot color, other than, however, what I've been doing lately is my camera is got a bit of a tilt issue, and so I've created a special script within Serial that after I get my resulted image that's stacked, I split out the channels and then I re-register each channel to try to correct any kind of chromatic aberrations and other things where the color channels are being split towards the edges on my image. And it helps reline those stars back up and make them a little bit sharper and cleaner. And then I use pixel math to kind of put everything back together sometimes using that.
Right.
But then, and also with one-shot color, now that they have dual narrowband filters, so I have a hydrogen alpha and oxygen 3 filter. And so I use pixel math to split my red, green, and blue channels then to get my different signals.
Yeah, I think that'll be my next purchase, narrowband data. Dual narrowband. I just spent like 13 hours on a target, and really I could have done it in just a few hours with a dual band filter.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Especially with the one-shot color where you're already capturing, it's already, breaking it out with the Bayer matrix. So.
And Adam, you saw the difference between the L Extreme filter that when I was shooting Crescent, it just popped.
Yeah.
It just pops. It just pops.
Is that's for mono, or is it for one-shot color?
Those are for one-shot color.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's great.
I've seen people though, you think the filters are, going to be like, oh, I can just filter out all the light pollution, and they don't even make a difference really. Some of them, like if you're in heavy light pollution, but I think the dual band, I guess it should work.
Right. Those
I'm just worrying about getting.
Yeah, they're dark. If you look at them, they look like mirrors.
Yeah.
They
I'm
block
just
so much
worried
light.
that because these filters are expensive. I'll spend like $400 on a filter, 2-inch filter, and it doesn't really make a difference.
Well, the L Extreme would on Nebula.
Yeah, not on Galaxies.
No, none of these filters really work on Galaxies. Some of these Galaxies have some interesting hydrogen alpha events in them that you'd want to capture some hydrogen alpha. But generally speaking, it's
Yeah, I use the Antlia dual narrowband filter HA and O3, and I just changed my background to the Heart and Soul Nebula. That's a 6-panel mosaic done with that filter through, and right here in pretty much east side of Olive Branch. And that's with the 533 and a GT71 William Optics scope. So,
yeah,
y'all are speaking a whole different language, and I would love to dive into it, but I have to run. So it was really nice seeing all of you guys. Hopefully we can meet you out there at one of those events someday. So till next time, we'll see you guys.
Thanks for joining, Brad. All right. So John, what have you been doing lately? What are you shooting? John Holden.
I have been doing the LOM Nebula.
What is that?
Lack of motivation. It's the lack of motivation nebula. We've had all these clear nights, and I just sitting in my living room looking outside and going, is it worth
hot out there
up and cloud a little later, break a sweat trying to get the polar alignment down? So I said, I'll just wait a little bit longer and then wait a little bit more time during the nighttime hours instead of just going. Because I figure by the time I get out there, it's going to be 10:30 by the time we get going. And you're looking at 4:30 when the sun's starting to, get a little more brighter outside. So it's like,
right.
Then you got dodging cloud. And I've seen people go out to Astroflash and they're done by 1 o'clock because the clouds rolled in. I'm going, oh, I'm glad I didn't sit up that night because that would have been half of my night would have been clouds or something.
Yeah, that happened last weekend. The clouds didn't come in until like 3:30, and we were going to have to leave at 4 anyways because astronomical sunrise was there.
Astronomical dawn, but it's like just the lack of motivation for it. And I need to retool because I've seen I got planets coming up here Saturn's getting closer to a better position, I think, for September, October time frame. And my 9 1/4 is set up with the reducer on it, so I got to take the reducer back off, which is a chore to get my SCT focuser stuff back on it afterwards. Because the focus, you got the mirror locks in the back, so I can't just take the that Beta diamond track, and just screw it right back on. It's got to come apart in a couple of pieces to put it back on. And it's a pain.
Oh, golly, okay.
Yeah, so it's like a chore to flop it back and forth. And then I've got my 6-inch, it's still reduced, and I need to get it's sitting on my bar I use mainly for my GT71. So I got to swap that configuration over so I can get my GT71 set back up. Because I got a few targets. I figured I'm going to do a 4-panel mosaic of the North American Pelican Nebula.
Oh yeah.
Because my 533 I can get the Gulf of Mexico region and get the Cygnus wall in the North America part. They can get the Pelican pretty good.
That's a great.
So I figured I'd just do a 4-panel mosaic on that. And there's a few other targets in Cygnus area that I want to try to get as well. I still haven't done the Propeller Nebula, and that'll frame up pretty good with the GT71 and that 533.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I do observing when I go to Astroflats as well. What I do is I set up my astrophotography rig and I just tell it to point at the target and I let it do its thing. And whenever I have a question about observing, even though Rick is a genius, Rick Honey is a genius with the cameras. I said, okay, Rick, what eyepiece should I get? And he told me to get one of these Telviews, a couple of them actually, and I bought both of them. And I bring it out to Astroflats, and Adam will tell you, we pointed that thing at Saturn, and it was quite spectacular just to see through the telescope. And if you go out to Astroflats, we'll show you. But Saturn, interesting, the rings are in a terrible, John, configuration right now. They're like, there's no.
Yeah, they're almost edge on. Yeah, there's a little bit of edge. There's a little bit of edge left on them, and I still haven't got that. I've got it where it's wider out, and so between this year and middle of next year, sometime I think they actually go to where there's pretty much edge on. You really can't see them. Then they'll start going the other way.
Yeah.
But they're really. I've seen people post online. I've seen that they're really, really close together. It's gonna make a pain on the ass for getting a really good focus on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, because even with the 9 1/4 with the 2X Barlow in them at 4,700 millimeter, I mean, it brings it in pretty good. It's just got to sit there and just fight through the graininess of the camera and try to get a good focus. And I got to that's the reason why I put the diamond track, the Beta diamond track focus on it, because I don't have to worry about moving the mirror. I can hit the mirror locks on it and keep it steady and use the Beta focuser, and I got a focus motor on that. So every time that moves, it doesn't shake. The mirror doesn't shift a little bit at all, so my target doesn't move out of the way. It did make life easier in getting focus, but it's still kind of hard because sometimes you really can't. If the scene's really good, I can make some of the bands out on Saturn and not worry about. Because I'm usually going by the gap
we saw
gap
bands,
or S gap or whatever.
Yeah, we saw bands with our eyeballs of Saturn, and Adam and I couldn't believe it.
No, I mean I've seen them even with my little Celestron 6SE. When I first bought it, back in 2014, I set it up out in the field near the soccer field areas out here in Memphis, and Saturn was getting low on the horizon. I just hit Saturn put the eyepiece on it. It looked great. I mean, you can see the bands on it, the color bands and stuff. Everything looked awesome. So I showed the wife. She's like, "Oh, that's great," and stuff like that. She's pretty good about that. Now I was like, now I've got to get that on a photo. So,
and
I've got some decent.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got some decent Saturns. I haven't really got a spectacular Saturn that I'm looking for, and I got some pretty good Jupiter ones. And but those, the two main planetary targets I usually do, and I still haven't got a good Uranus or Neptune, and those are coming up as well. I mean, all the planets. Plus, I got Mars coming back around too again, and I need to get a better Mars. I need to get my 3X on it.
Yeah, Mars and Jupiter are pretty close to each other right now. They're
yep.
But we're seeing them pretty late at Astroflats. They're coming above the trees around 2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's gonna be later. I think early next year for Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the better pictures of Mars I got is that one.
Ooh,
Wow.
Background on that.
that's some great surface detail.
Yeah, that's with
And the cap.
That's
You
with
got-
the 3x on it. That's with the 3x Barlow on that 9 1/4, and that's actually kind of sharpened with Blur X to have bring a little more detail out. Before it's a little more grainy, but that's my best shot. Pretty much my best shot of Mars at the moment. I need to get a little better. I want to bring out a little, try to get a little more of the atmosphere on the edges better, then get a little more clear, less grainy on the surface features and stuff. Plus, I also want to be able to get a longer rotation time in the animations. I've done some animations where it rotates slowly here or there. It just rotates kind of slow, so it's a long process. You know, it's not like with Saturn and Saturn, unless there's a storm on it, you really don't notice that it's rotating. With Jupiter, you see everything's rotating. You can see it. It's within 10 hours, it's already rotated around. So within 5 hours, you can get the red spot from one side to the other. And so I've done close to that, and it took 95 or 93 videos of that. So I want to try to get that again but at more of a bigger size, and just got to get everything dialed in.
Excellent. Okay, well, it's at 8 o'clock. We're close to wrap up time, but does anybody have any questions? We're welcome to any questions. Is anybody just starting? They just, oh, what do I do? I just want to start, and what do I get?
Oh yeah, if you do zoom in the moon really, really good, you'll see the dog on the moon too.
Is that your dog?
No, that's somebody else's dog. It's somebody's golden lab, I think, that's up there.
All right.
Steve.
Yes, sir.
Talk about.
Oh, Adam.
Just to talk about astroflats, and when Steve brings out his Dob, that just makes the experience so much better. Seeing the core of the Andromeda galaxy. Also,
You must be getting close to astroflats, Adam, because you're breaking up, and the cell, the cell signal out there is not the best.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling up, but I'm actually gonna head off because I'm pulling in the gate right now. But
okay.
But yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, enjoy your imaging, Adam. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
All right. Now, Dylan and Dan, I don't think I've ever met you, but if you have any comments or questions or anything, you're welcome to speak now. I love putting people on the spot, Rick. All right. Does anybody have anything to add?
When you got a second, do you ever do the horizon image for astroflats?
Oh yeah, I've got it. The preliminary's done. I'm going to do that Saturday at the latest. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, cool.
I got the long band done. I just haven't sized it to. What I do is I'm going to have this thing work in Stellarium and also Sky Safari. I'm going to have two files.
Cool.
And what Rick's talking about is if you have any of that software, you can actually import in this image and you see the context of the night sky with, where we're observing. I've got one at Hinton that I'll make available as well.
I don't know if you can.
That might be Hinton's. Is that Hinton?
It's Hinton.
Yeah. Okay. I did that one. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get that?
That's I'll repost it, Ann, in the on the Slack channel.
That would be great. I cannot keep up with the posts on Slack. They're just they're fast and furious, and I'm just too busy to keep up. So if you repost it, that'd be great.
Everybody's too busy to keep up with that thing. The board goes when Keith and I get technical and we start going back and forth on that stupid camera. There's just things flying back left and right.
I hear the bat channel's going really slow, so you should be able to keep up with all those.
The what's going slow?
The bat channel out there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Merrill to kill it. I don't have admin privileges. If I did, it would be gone already.
I have admin privileges. I can kill it if you want.
John is wanting it to stay. Obviously, he's been.
No,
First of all, there's nothing been posted on there for months, and all of a sudden, there's 10 memes on there right now. So
I couldn't resist that. It's like, oh, we're gonna get rid of the Bat channel. I was like, oh, the Bat channel, come on. And he goes, I got Batman out there with his head down. Going, they're canceling my channel. And then I had to add a few others to it. So
Keith is getting tired of all these channels. He's the one who's bringing all this up. So
what was the Bat channel for to begin with, anyway?
that was our big project with the that Pickering Triangle. That's where we were putting that data.
What did BAT stand for? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. It was.
I can only think of big ass telescope. So.
That's probably what it stood for. And I bet Keith Hort is the guy who named it. Okay. Well, are there any other questions?
Thanks for hosting tonight, Steve. I'm gonna call it quits. Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks a lot, Rick. Take care.
I know you're looking for future topics, and
Oh yeah.
I would love another PixInsight tutorial. Just someone going through the processing of maybe some of our Chile data. That would be really useful to me.
That's a good idea. Well, I think I'll talk to Merrill about that. We'll team up. We'll do a WBPP script to stack it all, and then what Merrill would do with that data. And Merrill, it'll look good if Merrill. That would be a fun.
The data.
Yeah.
Hey, you left. We don't hear you. You left already. Where are you back for?
No, that was and caught his ear. That was an that's let's do it. We haven't done that in a while. I don't think we've ever.
I want a single shot color processing demo, debayer the images and all that stuff.
It's all automatic.
Rick, the same event will help with that. We're shooting this with one shot color in Chile.
Oh, okay. Well, I think they may have the same camera I do. So.
What is the telescope that y'all have there in Chile?
You'll have to watch the video. It's not. It's a widescreen. I mean, a wide
102 millimeter.
What is that, John?
I think it's a 102 millimeter refractor. I don't know. I forgot what the brand it was. And he's got a 183 MC Zoe camera on there, one shot color,
maybe.
Right. Which it's a good, inexpensive, relatively inexpensive camera.
Yeah, something you find in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not Nan's tower in your backyard, like I got in my backyard when I put it out there.
But this one's under southern hemisphere skies, so.
Yeah, Rick, I was one of my favorite stories before you leave, and I'm sorry, everybody. If everybody needs to leave, please leave. But Rick went to French camp to see this particular the Centauri? What's the name of that?
I was just there, and they had the 30-inch had just been re-mirrored, and they had it out looking at it, and it was just happened to be in the springtime when Omega Centauri was just above the horizon. So this 30-inch daub, that you normally have to take a 12-foot ladder to get up on top of to look through the eyepiece, right? This huge telescope, right? You're standing flat on the ground looking in this eyepiece right at eye level, and there's Omega Centauri, and it's just like it's there in your lap. It was this most gorgeous globular cluster. And the detail was just mind blowing, and I've never gotten over it.
Yeah,
it's my favorite thing to look at.
Yeah, and that's some of the data we get to process, because in the southern hemisphere, but Rick just told you they literally had to put the telescope practically on the ground pointing at the horizon because we just don't see it here. And this particular one is. Let me just share the screen real quick.
Well, here, let me share the screen because it's my. Yeah, there you go. It's my desktop.
It's really high in the sky. And this is Brent Ellis, who's just a fantastic astrophotographer, and he hadn't even played with this yet. So, he's just getting preliminary data, just letting us know what's out there. So when we start processing this one, that's going to be a fun one. Look at all the vivid colors.
Let me show you mine.
Yeah.
Screen 2. I use mine as my desktop.
Ooh. That's beautiful.
It's like my desktop.
Just the distinction in the gold and white and blue stars. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you squint, I can see in my house.
Do you know how old that star cluster is? I'm surprised there's so many big blue stars.
I don't, but is all the globulars are like ancient, they're just super old. I was surprised to see as many blue stars in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you see that much blue in M13.
No, I got a lot of data on that at Astroflats the other night, and there's not a lot of blue there. Okay, well, I think.
All right, now I'm gone. Y'all have a good evening.
I think we're wrapping up now. I appreciate everybody joining us, and go to memphisastro.org and click on the calendar button to see the next meeting, and I hope you all attend. Everybody, please have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, Freddie.
Tomorrow I leave the old call and I deliver the phone tomorrow, so I'll be there in Hinton.
Oh,
it has been so messy this week that I'm off of.
Okay. Well, Freddie, as you know, you're a big value add out there.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm sweating it if I have to do all that without you.
Okay.
So I'm glad you're coming.
Sure.
All right, everybody, take care.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.